All right. What's up, team? Good morning. Welcome back to the PT on Ice Daily Show. I am Dr. Jeff Moore, currently serving as the CEO of Ice, and thrilled to be here on a Leadership Thursday, which, as we always kick off, is a Gut Check Thursday. The workout is a little bit complex today. Let's jump right into it. You're going to need two sets of kettlebells, first of all. We're going to go a little bit lighter on the first one, 35-26, and then more of that standard 53-35 on the lower rep scheme. So here's what it's going to look like. You're going to need to refer back to this one. So it is going to be 21-15-9 kettlebell, double kettlebell, hang snatches. Okay, and that's going to be at that lighter dumbbell or kettlebell weight. Then you're going to run 300 meters after each round of that in between the 21-15-9. Then you're going to drop down to 15-10-5, heavier kettlebells, 53-35. And now we're going to go clean and jerk with those. You're going to run 200 meters after each round. Then you're going to keep those same kettlebells, but rep scheme's going to change, drop down a little bit, 12-9-6 for double kettlebell thrusters, only running 100 meters after each round. So this is going to be interesting. Hanging on to those kettlebells for an awful long time, keeping that heart rate up with those varying distance runners. Get some video, tag Ice Physio, hashtag Ice Train. I'm going to try to give this one a go, maybe this afternoon. We'll see if we have time. Hope I see some of you all crushing that out there on Instagram. All right, as far as courses coming up, I see another really big online launch date. So want to put June 5th on your radar. We've got a handful of courses kicking off new cohorts on that day, including primary care physical therapy. We've got CMFA, the Essential Foundations course. We've got Brick by Brick, the Launching Your Own Practice course that Alan Frenendal is at the head of. And we've got Persistent Pain with Justin Dunaway and Britt Latiman. So a bunch of courses on June 5th. If you are hoping to get into one of those online cohorts, lots of opportunities coming up on that start date. Okay. Welcome to Leadership Thursday. And I want to talk about calibrating your compass because after a recent episode, I got a bunch of questions and they really got me thinking. So a few weeks ago, I did an episode talking about how there is no end to justify your means, right? Meaning that you never win business, right? You're never one day going to say, hey, I won business. It's not like that, right? It's, as Simon Sinek says, an infinite game, right? It's going to go on forever. There is no finish line. There's no moment of financial realization or anything else where you decide, I have won business. I have made it. The question a lot of you posed then following that episode and over the past couple of weeks is, well, in the absence of that, in the absence of a finish line to know that I made it or that I was successful, how do I know if I'm doing it right? If there isn't one of those, then in real time, or as long as I'm a part of all of this, how do I know if I'm doing it right? And that is such a great question. In real time, in the presence of an infinite game, what is that barometer? What is that compass? Where's that feedback? What I would generally say is that the most commonly used metrics are the wrong ones. So if you ask most people this, they will give you the answer of, well, are you growing? Right? Do you have more followers? The issue with that metric is you don't know if their why, right? If the reason they're following you, if what they're getting out of your content, you don't know if that's in line with your why and your purpose and the whole reason that you're developing and offering whatever it is you're offering. The same issue exists in gross sales, right? Or most of these commonly used metrics. Yes, they tell you that you're getting traction, but they don't tell you who you're getting traction with and why you're getting that traction. And that's an issue. These indicators, I would certainly say the most commonly used indicators, certainly the sort of the blink response indicators, they lack the ability to confirm that your why is being adhered to. And your why being adhered to is the source of energy longevity. It is the antidote to burnout. And we've messed around with these topics a lot in the past, but your why being consistently adhered to is what results in deep satisfaction, is what gives you back energy to keep going. It is the source of energy longevity. It is ultimately, I believe, the source of purpose and certainly retrospective satisfaction at the end of the road. It is ultimately the thing that matters. And the growth metrics don't tell you whether or not you're in line with that. So, to answer the question very specifically, what should I be tracking? I recommend a single metric. Do the people that you respect the most, that you most deeply admire on this planet, that you look up to for their character, for their conduct, for their success in expertise and mastery, do the people that you respect the most sincerely approve of what you're doing and how you're doing it? That's it. If you're asking me, how do I know if I'm playing the game right? That's my answer. Do the two people that you respect the most sincerely approve of what you're doing and how you're doing it? Team, they alone can be your lighthouse in stormy seas. And the stormy seas are coming, right? Like if you're really in the game of business and you're trying to make a difference and you're out there trying to change the way things are done, trying to make it done better, trying to make it done in a way that is more aligned with your values, if you're a part of all of this, there will be stormy seas. It's a complex, messy, amazing thing, right? But you will occasionally lose visual. In those people and their approval is what can help guide you in between the buoys. They're the lighthouse in stormy seas. The good news is identifying these people is really easy. It is one simple mental exercise. And so find some time to do this, right? Imagine the people that are right now coming to your mind. Like, who are those people? Like, who are those people that I respect the most, that I admire the most? Imagine the contenders, this list of folks you have in your mind right now. Imagine them giving you a sincere nod of approval. Just that quiet nod that says, "You're doing it, kid." Right? You that look, that silent, that meaningful, like, yeah, you're nailing it. When you imagine that, whose is the most meaningful? Which one moves you the most emotionally? Right? Which one makes you feel like it's all good? Right? It's all worth it. Which one of those does that to you? Now, on the other side, and I hate to say this, but it's probably true, maybe more immediately useful and a little bit more palpable, I think, for most of us, is imagine them being disappointed. So imagine that person not wanting to meet your gaze, not wanting to make that eye contact, feeling like you compromised, and you know they feel that way. Which one stings the most? Which one makes kind of the bottom fall out, if you will, inside of you? That using those two examples should immediately reveal to you, oh, it's these people. Now, I want to give a couple of important caveats. I'm going to encourage that these are not family members. There's a whole host of reasons for this, but unfiltered feedback, truly unfiltered feedback is and maybe should be rare among family. Family gets to be your forever fan. And that is not to say that you can't push family so far that there is not good reason sometimes for disappointment to exist. But it is to say that it takes different elements to get there. And it certainly is probably not, at least not from a purely business perspective, is probably not the right people to track. So I don't think in most cases they should be family. Second, these people need to know your purest vision. So you just looking up to them, that doesn't get the job done, right? That's what allows them to be a discerning judge. But they can only be a discerning judge if they know your vision in its absolutely purest form. In your most idealistic moments where you're not thinking about material things, you're not thinking about obstacles, you're just saying what you want to do in the most transparent, clear, unfiltered fashion. When you're most in touch with your why, you're explaining it to these individuals. Only then can they bring dissonant noise into tune. Only then, only if they know it from in the purest form what it is you're trying to do and how you're trying to do it and why and all the things that are behind that, underlying that. Only when they know that can they bring dissonance into tune. Can they say, hey, what you said to me, the way you're conducting yourself is not in line with that. I know you don't want to hear this. I know that maybe what you're doing feels easier, but I gotta say, the way you spun it to me, this ain't it, right? only then can they do that. So your action items for today, if you want to take this step and you want to think about calibrating your compass, is number one, either identify these people or find them. Right? You might have to give this a level of thought where you need to go and seek out these relationships or seek out these friendships or bring them into a space where they can come alongside your business. But there might be a gap here for you. When I said those examples up above, spend some time with that today. Do you have these two people? Can you say, oh, it's those two? It's those two. When I run through those two exercises from an emotional perspective, there is no question. It is those two individuals. So either identify or find them. And then part B, make sure they know the purest form of your why. Literally take some time to say, hey, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but if you have a minute, I kind of look to you as somebody who I think sees through a lot of stuff that could be distractions. Can I tell you what I'm trying to do and why? And I might every now and then, I might bump into you and say, hey, what do you think about this? I've spoken to you in the purest form of what it should look like. Does it? Take the time to explain to them what success looks like because they're going to be your ultimate reference standard. Team, if you're trying to do something special, if you're trying to look back and truly be deeply proud of something, your actions have to be in line with your why all along. And that is not as easy as I make it sound. Not when sometimes growth can be cheapened, not when sometimes material things can be obtained. If you avoid or intentionally run in opposition of your why, you need to find those two individuals that in those challenging moments can steer you straight. Their nod of approval, their absence of disappointment, their look of you did it and you did it the hard way. That's what will matter. And that needs to be your compass. I hope that helps. This is a challenging, complex journey. Those humans are everything. Team, I'll see you soon on Leadership Thursday. Have a wonderful day. Talk to you later.